I know that so many of you guys struggle with the patterns that you have in your wardrobe. You want to feel fun, maybe you want to feel a little bit quirky, cool with your outfits, and a pattern is a great way to do that. But lots of you are struggling to elevate your patterns and look more street style than childish.
Oh, I need this client, and I don't need some bollocky vegetable Yankee bloody doodle to mess it up for me, all right? I'm talking to you.
Today I'm going to be looking at a case study. Siv has very kindly sent me some photos through of some outfits and pieces of clothing in her wardrobe that she really likes but doesn't necessarily know what to do with. So we're going to be looking at that and also looking at some general, not rules, but practices for patterns for how to look more cohesive, put together and fashion forward. My name is Ellie-Jean, I'm a personal stylist, and on this channel we find our style by finding ourselves. So Siv asked me the question of how do I style my patterned pieces in a more interesting way? She has lots of pieces in her wardrobe which are patterned. She loves fun, exciting pattern styles, bold colors, patterns, etc. But she doesn't know how to make them into an interesting outfit. What she's doing a lot of the time is she'll have like one statement pattern piece and then some very simple things around it, and it's created a kind of stale point in her wardrobe that she wants to move on from. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go into some basic principles that might help you if you want to have fun with pattern, want to learn how to put patterns together and create a sort of cohesion with patterns in your life. So the first and basically overarching theme of this video is sandwiches. So the thing with patterns, they are an incredible tool for creating sandwiches. If you don't know what I mean by sandwiches, this is basically the most important style tip that I can give you. It's something that I rely on in all of my outfits. Basically what we mean is creating a connection, creating a bridge essentially between two pieces. What a lot of people not do wrong, but what a lot of people don't master in their outfits of creating this real cohesive feel is they'll put a top on that has a pattern on with no color in the trousers and a completely different pattern on the shoe and then a completely different color on the bag. And whilst this is fine if that brings you joy, if you want to create something more cohesive, something more fashion forward, something that looks more intentional and put together, then finding a relation between them is what you need to do. And sandwiches is just a way to do that. So literally picture a sandwich right now. You can have a sandwich like 2 pieces of bread, a bit of ham in the middle. You can have 2 pieces of bread with cheese and jam, my personal slightly controversial favorite for a sandwich. It's basically creating these layers of ideas that are meant to be together. That's kind of the principle, and you know that can come across in something like black, white and black in your outfit. So a black top, white jeans, black shoes, for example. Something you guys may or may not have gathered about me watching these videos is that I'm a very erratic person. I do not always put my best foot forward to look after myself every day. Sometimes I forget to shower, sometimes I forget to clean my teeth, sometimes I forget to take my makeup off, sometimes I forget to take my pills, sometimes I forget many things that I should do for this lovely body that I have. This week I'm really excited to be working with Ritual. Ritual has kindly sent me these Symbiotic Plus capsules, which include a prebiotic, a probiotic, and a postbiotic. And these support your gut, your digestive system, and your immune system. I love that it's a 3-in-1 because I don't have to think quite so hard about looking after myself. The product is designed to reach your colon and not your stomach. It promotes the growth and activity of bacteria in your gut. Probiotics help to relieve bloating, and the postbiotics supports gut barrier function. The first thing I noticed when I opened this was the smell. It smells all minty, so it's going to go very nicely with my teeth cleaning routine. I'm currently trying to do a lot of habit stacking. Like I said, I am not the best at looking after myself and then I get problems. This is going very nicely into that little routine that I have. One of my favorite things about this brand is that transparency is really important to them. I like to make good choices where I can. Ritual wants to celebrate and not be ashamed of what goes on in your insides. So for 20% off, use my code Ellie-J20 and go to www.ritual.com/Ellie-J20. Thank you so much to Ritual for sponsoring this video. You're making a difference to a very chaotic girl's life. So Civ does this really well. She's got a really great handle on sandwiches to an extent. She's got the most basic form of sandwiching, and that is to use the pattern as a statement. She's got a couple of outfits where her skirts are the statement, and then she's taken like one color from the skirt and put it in her top, her tights and her shoes and her bag, for example. So the skirt is our focus and our attention. And this is great. This is a really great way to begin. It means that nothing's overwhelmed, nothing's clashing with each other, nothing's contrasting. The pattern is allowed to shine, which is great, because pattern is obviously can be quite overwhelming for people. So this is a really, really great start. However, this is step one, because the thing with patterns is they are an amazing board to bounce off of. So rather than being afraid of the pattern, which I think a lot of people are, and then kind of adding really simple things around it and trying to make that pattern less and less and less, basically. That's kind of like a lot of people's instincts. But you see it as bouncing off board, and it's the same with style as with interior design. I've been watching a lot of Caroline Winkler recently. I'm absolutely obsessed. I would actually go as far as to say obsessed with Caroline Winkler, and she often talks about how rugs are a great source for providing like color inspiration, like rugs or artwork, and you want to see your pattern in that same way. So you can pull from that pattern. It's like a great, if you don't know what you want to do with the colors of your outfit, your pattern is absolutely where you should be looking, because there are going to be multiple colors in it, because if not, it couldn't be a pattern, right? So street style or like fashion week outfits on Pinterest are a great way to show how to incorporate pattern. And I've got a few examples here from street style on Pinterest to kind of show you some basic principles. So first of all, using the pattern as a statement, I have a couple of examples here. The first one, the necktie is the pattern. The necktie is the pattern, it's the statement, and everything else is all black. So that necktie is allowed to shine. It looks quite exciting, right? Still a great start. Next one, again, you've got the crochet with the black. This is absolutely fine. It's fine, but it could be more fashion forward if you took out that lovely brown, because the thing with putting black with color is it kills the color. This is a Trinny Woodall's gonna come up a lot in this video, but putting black with color is a Trinny Woodall statement piece of advice, as in don't do it, because it will kill the color. It doesn't give the color the opportunity to shine for what it is. I'm aware I'm wearing black today. I like wearing black. So let's start with color. Color is the easiest thing to get your head around in terms of sandwiching. So you want to pull a color from the pattern into the rest of your outfit, like I've been saying. So in this first example, there are multiple colors pulled from one pattern into the other pattern, right? So the skirt has this kind of muted beigey brown, it's got a white in there, it's got a black, and then this is threaded into the pattern in the top. So it's got a white in that border, it's got that same beigey camel, I would kind of say, in the main kind of picture. It's got a darker brown in the words, and then the black in the top itself. So not just one of those colors, but all of those colors are threaded through both patterns, and that looks incredibly chic. And then some of those other colors are also continued, so it's chosen the most neutral of those colors, which is black, for the bag and the shoes, and then the beigey brown is threaded into the gold of the necklace. I've got a feeling this could be a long video. Okay, example 2, same thing applies. You've got this jumper, which is the bouncing off board. A lot of people, I think, look at your neutral pieces and try and shove your pattern into that, but you want to use the pattern. So you've got the green there, echoed in the green of the trousers, a bit of a bolder green, but the same tone. We'll come onto that soon. And then the orange bag to echo the orange that's in the top. Again here, mixing those tones together, so that orange and the olive are of a similar tone, they're of a similar, like they're both in like an autumn color season, if you want to think of it that way. They're quite muted, they're quite rich colors, they're very beautiful. So just an extra little color tip, which I've kind of talked about a little bit here with color sandwiches. This outfit is a great example of how this is not totally a sandwich. You've got the sandwich between the white of the skirt, kind of between the blue of the jumper and the blue of the pattern. That's one way to think of a sandwich that you might not have thought of, basically just to bring out that color. It's kind of technically a sandwich, but also the intensity of the color, right? So you've got this little red handbag, which does not look out of place because of the brightness of that blue. It's just the intensity is mirrored. Same with the yellow of the shoes. They're all primary colors, so they all complement each other in this really fun, quirky way. And again, it's kind of a sandwich because having that yellow then makes that red make sense in a way, because it shows hey, look, this is how we're relating that blue and that red, their primary colors. We're looking at primary colors here. So you could also pull from the shape of the pattern, not just the color. This is like an advanced version. So in this first example, I've got two here which use fringe in a really great way. So let's look at this first outfit, first of all. So you can see in the pattern, it's got this kind of, what would you call that? A zigzag? I guess a zigzag. These basically elongated sharp lines, and that's echoed with the fringe of the bag and then also the tassels on her earrings. So everything's kind of going, and that's seen in the pattern. So that's bringing something from the pattern to the pieces. Same in the second dress, which also uses fringe in the bag. So you've got the elongation of the dress, the large and long pattern in that dress, echoed with the fringe of the bag. So what I've said for this one is you can see how the rose in the top feels very much like an extension of the leaves in that skirt. They look almost like they're a pair that would be sold together. They're so connected. There is obviously a color sandwich here as well, but it works especially well because that kind of leaf shape of the petal is echoed in the leaf shape of the skirt, and so it flows very nicely and it looks very seamless. And then in this third example, you've got the stripe of the zebra print echoed in the stripe of the bag. It's not, I don't even know if it's technically a stripe. I think it's just like the way the wick is weaved, but it still creates this kind of vertical impression. And that's another way, just a great example of how shape can create a sandwich. Okay, and lastly, kind of intermediate option is texture. In this first example, to show you what I mean by that, there's a sort of texture in the pattern of the shoe, which is echoed in the texture of that coat. So it just brings those two together. Here you've got the shininess of the diamonds of the skirt, I want to say, echoed in the shine in the shoe and the metallic belt. So even though it's not metal in the skirt, the kind of hard, shiny nature of it is echoed in the other accessories. And lastly, the metallic kind of shininess of that lightning. Oh, this is just a fabulous outfit. Oh. This is a fabulous outfit, 10 out of 10. Anyway, that's echoed in the trouser. Also in shape as well, the flow of the lightning is echoed in the flow of the trouser. Okay, so that's all about sandwiching, what I'm gonna say for now. Let's come back to Trinny Woodall for a second, who is one of my style icons. There are two key principles to pattern mixing that she often talks about that I learned from her. So we've kind of talked about how patterns can be threaded through an entire outfit, but you can also mix multiple patterns together. It's really hard to do that and create something cohesive, but once you start adding a little bit of an intention into the process, you can create something really fashion forward, really just chic and incredible, and like kind of create art on your own body. So principle number one that I've learned from Trinny Woodall is make sure the patterns are similar in color, especially color tone. It's kind of in this first outfit, you can see that this is two patterns. You've got the monkeys on the top and then what is that, a polka dot? It's kind of like a polka square. Isn't that just gingham? But it kind of looks like a polka dot. Anyway, the pattern on the trousers, you've got that white thread through the top and the brown threaded through the monkey. The other monkey on that top is a green color, and it's that olive green. It's similar to one of the outfits that we've seen before, which mixes orange and green. They're similar in tone and they really complement each other. So that is the thread between those two patterns and it looks very seamless. Example two, again, both of these patterns have red and white in, so they look very natural next to each other. They look very intentional. They almost look like one dress. And the second principle is make sure that they're similar in size. So if you've got like one really big print and one really small print and nothing to connect them, like let's say that they're not similar in color, right? Let's say that you haven't got them to thread them together. Well, two random prints that have no color correlation, this is the hardest thing to do. But if they're similar in size, almost like exactly the same in size, it's going to work a lot more easily. So in this first example, you can see that the size of the leopard print is very similar to the size of the check. This could be hard to pull off in real life. It depends on where you live. It depends on what kind of style you're trying to convey. But if you're really interested in pattern mixing and you want to look that little bit quirky, that looks great. And I would say that doesn't even look that quirky. I would say that looks kind of Italian, I want to say. It's kind of got that chic elegance and it doesn't overpower her. Example two, we've again got two very small prints. They have no color connection whatsoever, but they flow together. They flow almost as one piece. And the third, I wanted to get a larger print example to show you. I'm sorry if you can hear the plane. You can see that the top and the trouser both have that same large print. They're connected in that way. And the blazer, although being a much smaller print, shares the colors. So the three have a relation. So let's go back to Civ. This video is really long. This was a tiny idea I had this morning, but I have bizarrely a lot to say. So let's look at her specific outfits, a couple of these. She really loved this red dress. She really wants to know how to make this look more fun and how to really make it shine. So this is what I would do if you wanted to add patterns in with this bold, exciting red. So the first piece of advice would be to pair with a jacket that has red in it, but isn't red dominant. So like putting red on red is a very difficult thing to do unless they are an exact match, or you've got something like between them, or something that threads both kinds of red together. If they're not the same red, you've kind of got to look at them as different colors if you're putting one on top of the other. This even goes for black. And it's one of the reasons why I don't like black and navy. They're so similar, it gives that kind of impression. Now this example I've got here of this red jacket, that's gonna look messy because it's the red on the red, but if you inverted those colors, which I cannot do for you, but just like in your mind, if you inverted those colors so that those flowers were the red of the dress and the main color was white sitting on that dress, that's going to look incredible. The dress is soft and flowing. It's quite hard to put jackets sometimes with a really feminine dress, depending on where you're going. If you were doing it like an evening look, say you're going to the theatre or something, a pashmina or a scarf is gonna look amazing. Same principle, red on red, no good, but red through it is gonna look amazing. And then you can pull other colors from the pashmina to the rest of the outfit. So this pashmina that I found on Pinterest, that cream there is gonna be a really great way to make your outfit look more elegant, depending on what you're going for. Like if you want to use pattern but your style is much more mushroom, if you're unfamiliar with my style routes, check out this video. But if you had much more of a like a minimal, elegant, classic style, you might want to lean to the neutrals in your outfit for your bag and your shoes and your jewelry. But if not, you could use that blue for your shoes and create something really wow, something really like fantastic and bold. This is less adaptable, a piece of advice, but still I think quite interesting. Red looks really quirky and fun with leopard print. I often think, like that was my initial thought when seeing this dress, I just thought leopard. Put some leopard with it, it's gonna look kind of crazy. It can look elegant if it's carefully done. Like I'm just feeling something fur here, you know, to echo the roundness of the dress. But to take away from that, the intensity of the color could be matched with an intensity of the print, right? So if you've got a really bold color, putting something soft and subtle with it can work, but also if you've got a really intense color, a really intense print, is gonna look very exciting. So that red with the leopard, that's kind of what ties those two together. Even though there's no red in leopard print, there's no color, there's no texture match, the intensity can be something that threads those two ideas together. And then as well, you have the other neutrals of the leopard print to tie into your outfit. So a second outfit, well, both of these outfits that I've got here show that it's really easy to jump to black. There's another outfit as well that she sent me, which is kind of a blue and navy top with a black skirt. And nothing's really been pulled from the top, kind of letting, like we were talking about earlier, letting the pattern be the statement, but not really using it as a bouncing board. In both of these outfits that I've got here, the more interesting color is not black, it's the gold. Now we know you like gold because we've got two examples here. So you've got some gold on the antlers, we've got the gold in the skirt. So you could look into investing in a little bit of gold to tie through your outfits like this. Ooh. She's done a great job with that gold buckle that ties all of that together really nicely. This is my favorite of all the ones she sent me. I think that looks incredibly elegant, incredibly beautiful. And you could bring out the red of that jumper, the little Rudolph nose, in like your lipstick or an earring or a ring even, but bring it out in the jewelry or your shoe and it's gonna look fabulous. Again, just coming back to leopard, for some reason I've got a thing about leopard today. If you've got gold and black together, that's just like instantly go like animal print. Easy if you love prints. I'm not even suggesting animal print for you. You don't give me necessarily animal print vibes. I just think animal prints are really fun. And look, this is just a piece of advice in general. If you want to mix patterns, having a wardrobe with a smaller color palette is gonna help a lot. I can see like from these two examples that a lot of your neutrals in your wardrobe are black. Same for me, and black isn't in my color season at all. It can drain me. And that's true for like most people. Black is quite a difficult color to wear, but we can't all have 500 things in our wardrobe. So I think just being more intentional if you want to wear color about the colors that you buy. It's really hard if you're really into color to go through every color of the rainbow, because you're going to need a shoe and a bag of every color of the rainbow, you know. But if you kind of narrow down to, I say 3 colors, and this was a rule I learned from Caroline Winkler coming back to her, but if you have like 3 main colors in a room, and then let's say an outfit, you can do like 60% one color, 30% another color, 10% another color, I want to say. I think, yes, that's maths. I think that's right. So in your wardrobe, you could have 60% be tones of blue, which is what I do, 30% tones of cream, and then I do 10% tones of pink and red. And then I have like 1% be other random colors that I've collected over the years that I don't want to get rid of because I don't want to buy an entire new wardrobe of clothes. But I try and lean on those colors. So that could help a lot if you want to mix patterns, because if you've got a few patterns with the same colors running through them, it's going to be a lot easier to layer them. So putting color with black kills the color. Rule 1. This is another Trini Woodall speciality. So let's look at this green jacket. It's a block color. Putting that black against it kind of kills it. There's no relation between the blue jeans, the black top, the green jacket. They're all kind of floating in the space of the outfit with no thread really there. So simply, you just want to add that green somewhere else. So it could be through a t-shirt with a bit of green writing. It could be something simple like a green bag. It could even be a green hat. Or like I was just talking about, it could be like the intensity of the color. So I love this outfit with these green trousers and this kind of bold graphic tee. The green is so bold that it doesn't really matter that it doesn't appear in the t-shirt. The bold, exciting print honors the bold, exciting color. I'm going to quickly run through a quick case study of, and I have no idea how to say this username, lilrotini. She's one of the first people I ever followed on TikTok, and something she does very, very well is patterns. So I would suggest just going through a few of her videos, seeing how she mixes different patterns together, things that you'd be like, I would never put those together in a million years. So like in this first video, I was going to do like 5, but I've taken up so much time with this video. So for the first video of hers that I've got here, the 2 browns don't really feel like they match each other. Remember what I was saying about 2 versions of the same color being on top of each other? There's something really off about that. But once the pattern top is there, there's a connection between the lighter brown and the slightly darker brown. There's a harmony there. There's a third piece tying them together, giving them a reason to be there. And then the darker brown, whatever she adds next, then connects them. And this is like a very color sandwich situation. And I also added in my notes that the vertical stripe of the texture in the corduroy also echoes the kind of, I think there's a vertical stripe in the texture of the top. So that's again another sandwich just to tie it all together. So that's just one real practical way to do that. Okay, I hope you have learned everything there is to learn about patterns in this video. I had so much fun writing this one. I want to make videos like this more. Let me know if you have any questions similar to this. I'm also looking for case studies for future videos. So if you have queries like this and you're happy for your photos and videos to appear in a video, please go send them to my email that's in the description, and I would love to make a video with them. Thank you so much for watching. If you want to know my opinion on your body type, essence, help you find your style, make sure to head to bodyandstyle.com. And if you've enjoyed this video, I'm not sure which of my videos you'll enjoy, to be honest. I think you'll enjoy my playlist on style routes, finding your style. I think that's probably the best place for you to go next. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you next time.